Awesome. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order today's Special Tourism Advisory Board meeting for January 8th. Good morning. All right, I'd like to get an approval of the agenda. We are going to remove 4C though. The Visitors Bureau is not here right now, so I would like to get an approval for the agenda with the removal of 4C.
I approve with the removal of 4C.
Thank you. Second?
I second.
Thank you. All right, can we also get the approval of the minutes? Dalton sent out a ton of minutes. I don't know if you guys were able to read them, but he sent them out. So can I get an approval of minutes, please?
Oh, first.
Second?
I second.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna dive right into discussion and presentations, marketing materials. What do you want to start with?
Just now.
If you'd like to start with the overall railroad days plan.
Yep, yep.
And just go through the railroad days first.
You got it. Pass those down. Pass those down.
Actually, let's go on. Any other one that I can give you an update on the rack cards.
Okay.
They have been distributed, the Visitors Bureau has distributed those to welcome centers and all places, hotels, that kind of thing that they normally do.
Okay.
For 2025.
Yep.
I have a box in my car, that I am gonna get out and hand out to our local businesses here, train station. If there's any other locations that you guys wanna suggest us get some of those rack cards, I will hold on to them.
Okay.
They'll go up in town hall as soon as we're able to get the brochure board and everything up, so
Okay.
those are done, they're printed.
Okay. Have we ever gone to any of the gas stations that are right off of 95 on exit?
Before Railroad Days last year, I took some of our, like, Railroad Days rack cards
Yeah.
and stuff. I don't know if the Visitors Bureau takes them to those locations.
Okay.
I know that they usually do the hotels, right? The tourism, when it comes to like the distribution of the town rack cards and brochures and stuff, they go to the hotels and the welcome centers.
Best out of my knowledge, they don't put out individual town brochures, that's up to the town.
The rack cards, I believe, were going into the hotels.
Some hotels do take records now, they get like the covered area.
Yeah.
The Shell station there on 95 is a good place to get all the hotels.
Yep.
Some hotels put them in a drawer and give them out.
Yeah.
And if you're looking, sometimes the hotels have downsized to little smaller cards, so just, if you're dropping stuff off, take a look.
Yeah.
And see what is actually out there now.
So they're standard rack cards.
Good.
That's why it's good.
When I went around with the Railroad Days last year, I took some of the 2024 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll try to make my rounds back around and make sure.
Help distribute those,
Okay.
the reading ones, I can do that at the same time.
That would be
Okay.
wonderful.
Awesome. That's terrific.
Thank you. The Our State ad, they are gonna ask for council to approve that.
Okay.
Is that in tonight's? I mean, tomorrow's, yeah, okay, I'm still on Thursday.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, that's a that, they're gonna ask for that, the Reed's vinyl will go in, front of council tomorrow as well.
Okay.
So I just want to give you an update on the marketing materials that we have been working on that the committee's approved. The brochure, the Visitors Bureau is finishing up the distribution printing of the Benson project.
Yep.
And then they are gonna work on the final design for the actual brochure with the content that
Okay.
was discussed.
Does anybody need to be there tomorrow night to represent tourism?
Did they have you put anybody specific on the?
It's not required, but
Okay. I can go.
Let's say I do have a list. If you're out, check.
I would like that. I literally just wrote that in my notes, like a list of where they are. Yeah, that'd be great.
And Ms.
Appreciate
Turner
that.
also mentioned the holders for.
Yeah, they took an order form. I haven't received one on my end, so
Okay.
they haven't come in yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you? Oh, you already have them. The rack cards, the holders themselves. You already have some though. from the Visitors Bureau, like to hold the actual,
They're in place at all places that
yeah, they just took a new order, but I haven't received mine yet, but I forgot you already have yours, so he wouldn't receive a new one anyways. Yeah, oh, okay.
The only thing I wanna mention is the wayfinding. I don't know if anybody brought any suggestions or
I totally have flopped on that.
Me too.
can
I
we?
have a
Wayfinder.
question about the wayfinders, the signs. That was Buffalo Road. Is any on Buffalo Road? I suggest Buffalo Road.
Yeah, the
We had
corner,
talked
the
about that
corner
like that.
of Buffalo and River.
Yep.
And is that a new interstate billboard?
It
Sorry.
is, yeah, just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice.
It is really nice. It's really, really nice.
What about 39? 39 coming into
No,
Selma?
there are none coming from that direction.
39.
So we really do need the comprehensive, I know that Eastfield, they wanna focus on getting some of that, over.
Should we do a final deadline for February, for our next February meeting?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
So all of those suggestions, do you guys still have the maps that we?
They're in our email too, aren't they? They're in email
I'll
as
have to
well.
dig, but yeah.
And remember, we have one sign already that we just need to have refaced.
Yep.
The one in front of the IGA.
IGA.
Yeah.
We need to decide where that one specifically needs to go, because that can be done.
So a
for
freebie
the,
essentially.
You know, a
Okay.
workaround. So, let's just work to, if we can put that on the February.
Okay, that sounds good. Do we also, have an idea of what's going on with the other one that was removed and then found in the base?
It should be, I'll check on the status of the work order.
Okay,
So, I'll see if I can check on the status of that.
okay,
The base has been installed, the base is refaced.
okay,
so
cool. All right, that's awesome.
I'll make sure, I haven't looked. I haven't
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
through
yeah,
it in the last
okay.
minute. Unless you have something else for marketing materials.
No, I think that's it.
Um,
I mean, we have railroad day stuff, but obviously that falls under railroad, so railroad marketing.
okay, so if you'd like to hop into the railroad dates timeline.
Yes.
Information.
Yep. Okay, so our first piece that we're gonna be looking at is the one, this one, 2 pages, I believe, yep, with our timeline on it. So let's just
Oh,
review.
I just got one.
Oh, did I?
I just got
It is one
March.
page, I'm sorry, I
Okay.
lied, I have extras,
I
sorry.
did not go through, I worked on the whole timeline, but, I wanna drill down into the last couple months to make
Yep.
sure that there's nothing in as far as contract approvals and that sort of thing. I really wanted to make sure you guys had like the first 3 months.
Perfect.
interviewed.
Okay, all right, let's review. We're just gonna start at the top. Obviously, our dates are September 29th through October 5th. Our theme is the 50th anniversary. It's 7 days of the rail celebration from the depot to downtown. That is our whole thing for this year, is that we're going from the depot to downtown instead of normally cutting it out. We need to discuss subcommittees. So myself and Nikki have been reviewing some entertainment, like our main entertainment so far. And I mean, there's a lot of things, guys. I mean, there's a lot to do with agents and these fees. And I've reached out to Alexandra Kay and Priscilla Block. Priscilla Block is from Raleigh. These are like some heavy hitters with huge TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram followers and stuff like that. But they're looking at, we're talking like in the thousands for hotel, like their people set up and stuff like that. So their costs are growing on those. So we have another list that Nikki has so graciously put together of people that we can actually afford that are available, that we need to review. But there's so much to review in this, it has to be a subcommittee, because there's just not enough time with all of us together to go over this stuff and still finish everything else that's on our agenda. So subcommittees, we're gonna do vendors, food trucks, and parade. That is going to be one committee. Amusement, the Kid Zone, characters, farmers market, and the antique show is going to be a second subcommittee. We have entertainment and local performances, and contest, shuttle, and pickleball. Now, I'd like to just get this out here. This is my opinion on this. I know that not everybody has the time to dedicate to this, and that is 100% okay. So if you want to be on the main tourism board of what we are right now, and a subcommittee, we're gonna obviously bring this back to us, all of us, to discuss further. If you just want to be on the final planning stages of that, that is a-okay. If you don't want to be a part of a subcommittee, I don't want anyone to take on something that is too much for them or something that you cannot commit time to. I want everyone to be set up for success in this. So knowing that going in, I know that entertainment and local performances, I 100% would like to be on that subcommittee, and I think that we need one more for that. So it'd probably be Cheryl.
Yeah, I've already been working on some of that.
Perfect. So if you guys are okay with that, I'd like myself and Cheryl to be on that subcommittee, and then we work directly with the town and representatives of the town. So these subcommittees are going to be meeting, like this one, for instance, will be myself, Cheryl, Nikki, and anybody else from the town, to get those final selections and things like that, what we can afford, all that other good stuff put together. And then we're gonna bring it back to tourism. All of us and all 5 of us will make the final decision to then bring to council. So everyone still has input, we're just narrowing down the responsibilities and time that it's gonna take, because to be frank, these subcommittees are going to take hours of you guys investing your time into it. So if that's not something that you guys have available, that's fine. I know that there's plenty of us on here that can dedicate that time. So entertainment, local performances is gonna be myself and Cheryl. Vendors, food trucks, and parade. Is there anyone that it tickles their pickle that that's something that they're interested in? Okay, so I'm cool with that for me and you.
Well, maybe if we wanted to add the parade onto the local performances, we could take the load off of y'all if you wanted to.
The entertainment, from what I've seen so far, is
Big
pretty
enough?
in-depth. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
it's
Okay.
a lot.
I will say, once the performers are booked and contracted,
Yeah.
like, that's a pretty easy go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is trying to get the local performers and the groups that are coming to perform organized and
Yep.
scheduled, so that takes on a little bit of a closer time.
Yep.
And the parade, most of the time our fire department handles the organization, day of. So it's basically just getting all the forms in, getting them put into our rec desk program, which is the same thing with the vendors and the food trucks.
Yep.
However, the vendors and the food trucks, to make sure we don't have duplicates.
Yep.
And, make sure we have a good variety, that's going through those forms and stuff, so that, the vendors and food trucks will take a little bit more time
Yeah.
than the parade itself.
Yeah. All right. Amusement, Kids Zone, characters, farmers market, and antique show.
That's a lot.
It is.
That's a real lot.
I mean,
Especially since we've never had the antique show before,
mhm.
and we've only done the farmer's market once.
And I think we can reach out to maybe possibly some of our local, groups that can help with that have done the
So-
farmer's market.
Farmers market, I've already spoken to Tammy and Kim Fry. They're ready to take that on. They feel confident that they're gonna be able to, bring out their peeps because it was that Thursday night farmers market that we were talking about. So they feel confident because it's at night that they'll be able to have a large, response for that event. So I know that they're okay with taking that on. And then the antique show, which is where we want vendors, just to clarify, it's vendors that are set up to sell specific antique. Are we allowing vintage in that? What are your thoughts, Albert?
I think you should, I'd try to make it as general as possible. I wouldn't
Okay.
try to narrow it down.
Okay,
I just make it, for those who are interested, not say you have to have a specific type of antique. I mean, it's,
okay.
you want to draw as many people as you can.
We just want to make sure that we are eliminating the extra stuff that comes with sometimes these shows, the things that are not that aren't authentic. Like, I think I would prefer, I mean, we have to some degree a similar portion of our stores. Reproductions are an issue. So like, I just think if we're trying to keep it as genuine as possible, I think that there are some things that do need to be put in place to make sure that this is,
Well, then you're gonna have to set up a procedure where they have to send you a picture, and you say, then you're gonna have to, look at each individual item. The antique shows, it's a pretty broad term, and I think if you're gonna really, make them jump over hoops to participate, people, they can stop and look if they want, they can pass right on by.
yeah. All right, well, we can get into that. Okay, so are there any takers for amusement, Kids Zone, characters, farmers market, and antique show?
And I will tell you, the amusement, we have confirmed the Wednesday through Sunday, for the amusement rides down at the depot. So really, we're just I've got it on the timeline to have him come and go over the layout and needs. A lot of that will be town That's where they've got to set up their stuff. So that might just be assisting with very minimal, parts, you know, if they happen to need something that
Yeah.
the committee needs to do. It may be working on a layout, you know, helping with the layout or something, but, that's pretty self-sufficient once they get here and get up.
Yep.
I'll do it. I'm not working. I'll subcommittee that one as well. Gives me something to do.
And I'll help out I'll just help out in all areas. Whenever you need something.
definitely
just
gonna
say,
help me out.
"Susan,
I got
you
you.
know, do this, we'll check into this.
So can that
Good at
be
that.
myself and Cheryl? And then I guess we call him back up, we call him the guns for Sue.
Who knows like the sports stuff? I mean, that takes somebody who
Yeah,
knows
I-
pickleball that knows the
would-
sport.
I think that would be from the town side. We
Yeah.
would-
I agree.
A lot of, contest information so a lot of these subcommittees, we already have lists of
Yep.
things, that will help guide the first discussion. So I'd really like to go on and get that first discussion within the next week, if possible, to get the wheels turning, for that. So, and I think we have a very, in-depth pickleball local. And I'm
Susan.
trying to think of his name, but we're gonna try to reach out and see if we can get, them involved as well, because they usually have tournaments. So I'm trying to find the information for that.
Susan, remember the ladies that we did pick up pickleball with?
Yes.
They would be all over the subcommittee.
be.
They are so cool and they're local and they do pick up pickleball every day.
And I do think that if you have somebody that is community, like, and that has the knowledge and has the connections, and you want to bring them in on those subcommittee discussions, I mean, I think that would be fine to have, because that's, us engaging with the community to have some input, so.
Evelyn plays on that league.
Evelyn
She does?
Costello?
Well, she picks up
That's right,
picks up
she
with them.
does, yeah.
She might be a really good
They were
source to help us with
hardcore,
that.
those
I can reach out
ladies.
to
Go ahead and
Evelyn.
throw her in right now. Sorry.
I can judge Evelyn.
Is Cheryl and Christina on this one?
Ooh, I don't know a thing about pickleball.
Well, I mean, I'm interested in contests and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'd like to be on it regardless. And then I'll reach out to Evelyn, see if she has some input on that, but, I mean, it's
Where would the car show fall in?
And the train
entertainment and local performers.
Entertainment.
and the train
Yep.
train stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Entertainment, yeah.
All right, perfect.
All right, so to review, vendors, food truck parade, myself in town, amusement, kids zone characters, farmers market, antique show, myself and Cheryl. Entertainment, local performances, myself, Cheryl, obviously town on all of these, and contest, shuttles, pickleball, myself in town,
And me.
and Albert. Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll help out wherever I can.
Me too. Just put me wherever you think I can help. Because to be honest, a lot of these things I don't know about.
Well, so I was going through the day by day, and I feel like everyone on this committee could pick a day, like Worship Wednesday.
I want
That'd be something
Wednesday.
you would totally
I want
work on.
Wednesday.
The throwback thing, you had the best ideas, Albert, about bringing the people that before, so we could pick a theme as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having, well, I thought about that, but several of your events occur on multiple days. So, I think getting closer to time, it would be smart to assign one person per day as like assistant
Advisor.
coordination. Like,
Absolutely.
They have a book, they know where things are supposed to be, they can answer any questions. But that's what I thought. I thought about breaking it down by subcommittees for the days, and I was like, well, we've got more days than we've got folks, but the carnival, you know.
The way I look at it, Susan's doing the wine walk on Monday. The tribute Tuesday, Albert had some great ideas about bringing past people here. Your Worship Wednesday,
Well, Worship Wednesday, I wonder, when we were here the last time, we had so much to absorb, so you don't have time. I went home and I looked at every day. So I have two suggestions, a suggestion for Monday and a suggestion for Worship Wednesday. I'm gonna start with Monday. I think Monday was the past Queen's Day. Is that
That's
correct?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
That's Tuesday? Well, I thought about if we could ask, we're gonna think out of the box. Do something different or we hadn't done in a while. If we could contact Miss North Carolina to come and let her be our main attraction for that day, for our Queen's Day. I think that contest is done every June. So the reigning one now will not be Miss North Carolina next year. I mean, in June, when we have our Railroad Day celebration. So if I suggest that on that Wednesday, if we can, that Tuesday, if we can contact that organization and see if she could come. Cause this is a special celebration for the town.
What if we, I like that idea. I have a connection right now to the current district. I don't know about the next one. The lady that connects with it may help with them each year. I'm not sure. But what if we were putting Miss Rosa specifically on the Worship Wednesday and Miss Susan specifically on the wine walk? Because those will be specific, coordinated things. And then, Mr. Albert, if there's like a specific, if you're interested in the roadshow portion, so if there's a specific portion of one of these, that might be a good thing to be able to have somebody.
So we can tap into who,
That
somebody
way
on
you
the
have
board.
somebody on the committee that is aware of the details for,
And one more thing about Worship Wednesday. I like the idea of we're doing the different stages and different people come in with their choirs and whatever, but we've already done that. We do that now on Sundays when we have railroad days. So since we're thinking out of the box, and I was thinking we need to have a actual corporate community worship. And what I mean by that is Wednesday night is usually Bible study night for churches, organizations. Wednesday's Bible study night. So why don't we, if we can, have the Civic Center for 1 hour and have a community worship. And I'm suggesting that we have a sermon, a choir, the different community leaders come and provide the service. And I'm suggesting Temple Baptist Church. It's a big congregation. It's very diverse. It's diverse. And it represents the community. The pastor there come, bring his choir for 1 hour. We have a worship from 7 to 8 at the Civic Center. But we still have all those other things going just in case some people don't want to go to the worship. Now, at the worship, we have him come, give us a sermon, have their choir to sing. And the program, we have one church probably to preside, another church pastor to do the scripture, another church pastor to do the prayer. And we'll have all these churches to come to represent Selma, have a community worship at the Civic Center from 7 to 8 on Worship Wednesday. But we still have all the other things going.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think that could be discussed with the subcommittee and then present the full layout at maybe.
Absolutely.
February's.
I love that.
Yeah.
Would that be
Yep.
okay?
I've got something that I just got to get out because this might change everything and y'all are going to kill me, but I'm going to do it anyway. We had a discussion about why is the biggest day Saturday and why parade. All right, hear me out. You're going to probably kill me, but I have a really good idea. Christina's eyes are already looking at me like I am dead. Okay. We have a parade every day. It's not closing the streets down. Just hear me out. So Main Street Monday, or whatever you want to call it, Mingle, I like Main Street Monday better. High school marching bands. They're already in for the fall. Monday, they need to be, getting stuff done. It just starts it out really big. It's all Maine. I'll get Triple S. I've already contacted them about the jazz band, blah, blah, blah. Tuesday, Tribute Tuesday, all the past queens do a little, I need to see where it goes to, actually tell you where it goes. So the marching bands go from the train station to the Rudy, because we're doing from train, okay, just straight up Maine, all the way railroad up. The queens go from the Rudy to the railroad, because y'all were doing that queen show. And they just, because it's all mingling. I mean, people are just standing, we're waving, they're doing their little thingy. Worship Wednesday, church bands in a parade. And the church route, now you actually have it, because we could go from Civic Center to wherever you wanted to go, but make that like a Mardi Gras. Everybody's playing, everybody's jamming, a very religious kind of a Mardi Gras band. Thrill of Thursday, I say that we just do the flash mob, our local flash mob, going down the street, that's our parade, whatever. First Responder Friday, I say we do an EMS parade with their trucks. I know they go into the big one, but just specifically for them, an ambulance or whatever, they can go from the train station around the block. We're also, that's Friday. Oh, sorry, Thursday, a Halloween parade. We have a contest where all the kids can dress up and adults. They go marching down the street, and then we give them gifts, whatever, best pair, scariest, cutest, what have you. Friday's EMS parade, Saturday's the parade. Sunday, This is the creme de la creme. It's gonna just really cap it off. I've been dying to do this. We're gonna do the human love train, where we all start down at the depot, and everybody's gonna join in, and we're all gonna do the conga all the way through downtown. And let me tell you something, with the drones, we would kill that. And people would come in just for the fun of it. We can have characters joining in. We can have the band who's shagging. They know the Love Train by the OJs. They play that kind of music. The band members can join it. So we do it on their break, and we just do a huge, and I'm telling you, we could make that so fun, and we can market it. Those are my parade ideas. Y'all can squash it, but I spent 3 hours yesterday.
Is that all? Just 3 hours? You mean 3
Well-
days, don't you?
But anyway, those are my ideas, and I just wanted to get them out there. And if we want to do it, we got to plan on it now. And now that we have subcommittees, now's the time to talk about it. I just kept thinking, why do people come down? And everybody kept saying, good for the parade. But you don't have to have just a parade the same kind. Just do a different one. Poor Nikki looks at me like she wants to kill me.
No. I think that would be a logistic discussion, because that would take some town, staffing to, because it does take a lot of the staff to put on the actual, the Saturday parade. But, Anderson, anything we close Anderson for technically, that is the NCDOT. So that's just the thought we have to keep in the back of our head. So that's, we actually have to go through a process with the ordinance and everything for, the NCDOT packet, to request that. So, I love the idea of incorporating
Some type of parade.
all of involvement with everybody, and I love the Sunday like that.
I'm telling you,
love it.
we could make that really fun. I already looked up like Guinness Book of World Records, but there's 11,000 people, so we're not gonna get that.
Could I ask you, the Three Kings Day this week, walking from the depot uptown is quite a long walk for some people. And, lining up on, I guess Railroad Street is where you do it. But the Three Kings Day, what they did is went down the sidewalk, like on Baker Street on one side, across the street, and then come back down. So you would be making a big circle of town.
That's okay too.
It would shorten the distance is all I'm saying, but not sure what you're gonna have set up on Railroad Street. If you could do it in a smaller thing, I think it would take as much staff, sidewalk versus.
Can I throw a wrench into all of this?
Oh,
I haven't, okay, I was gonna wait until we were further in to discuss this.
oh no.
I think we have a big issue. We haven't even discussed this. I think we have a big issue with the location for our main stage. I just went up there, and if we're talking about, and I want everybody to understand that there's always lots of conversations in every background, right? Everyone has a lot to say about this 50th Railroad Day. And it is expected that this is epic. It is expected that it blows every town in our area away, and that it's massive. It is done on a massive scale. So what comes with massive is massive entertainment. What comes with massive entertainment is a ton of people. And I have great concern. I was just at the depot before our meeting this morning. I have great concern with us being able to fit followers for Hunter Hayes or someone along those lines in that area. I really do not think that we can fit people safely over there. And I think we really need to put some thought into a second location of where it could be. Yes, we still want to have things over at the depot, but if we're talking about bringing in some big name entertainment, okay? So for example, I've been just looking up and getting prices on people and stuff like that. Some of you guys may not know who Alexandra Kay is. This is just an example. Alexandra Kay right now is currently opening for Jelly Roll. If you guys don't know who this is, he literally went from no name nothing to $2 million a show like overnight. She's opening for him right now. She would be 50,000 all in. She has over 4 million TikTok followers. If we got someone like that here, it would be insane. It would be amazing for us as a town to have someone here. But where do you put those people? So then if you go smaller, we go with Hunter Hayes. We can afford him a lot cheaper, but he has a huge following in the sense of our age group, right? Because we're doing Railroad Days in Johnston County, if you remember where we are. Hunter Hayes has a following for 12 or 15 years, I think, when I was going through all of his music last night. So that's going to hit a lot more age brackets than, say, bringing in one of these huge name brand, like these people right now. I think a lot of people in Johnston County don't even know who Priscilla Block or Alexandra Kay is. Yes, they have a massive following, but Hunter Hayes potentially could have a bigger following
Local.
for us in Johnston County. Where would we put people for Hunter Hayes at the depot? My concern too is obviously the depot is still open. And driving through there, and I should have done this before, and I apologize, I haven't, but driving through there this morning, I have great concern of a train coming in the middle of when everything is hustle and bustling. And how do we make sure that kids especially are safe? We obviously are serving alcohol and wine. And to be fair, as much as everyone tries, there are going to be people that are drinking a lot. How do we keep our people safe? And yes, I understand that this is for our public safety to handle, but this is for our job as organizers to make sure that we're setting them up for success and our patrons that they are safe as well. And I'm really concerned of space over at the depot.
Where was the stage gonna be set up?
So, well, talking about a bigger name now, especially for Saturday, does cause some concern for that. And I'm gonna have to look into, because with the bigger amusement rides, that's gonna take up a majority of that empty
Yeah.
lot, if not all of the empty
All of it,
lot,
yeah,
because of how many rides he's talking about bringing.
yeah.
So the only concern with putting that in there is, are we gonna have enough space even in there?
Yeah.
For that. However, there has to be a portion that makes the train station accessible.
Mhm.
There possibly can be an option. I'm gonna have to check NCDOT for closing a portion of that street that goes all the way through, but we still have to keep, like, we
Yeah.
can't close that entire area.
Exactly.
So that would be my only other, right now, thinking to find out some requirements for regulation on closing a part of that where it has the parking places and, stuff for the depot, so I can
Yeah.
turn in.
It's just very, like when I was over there, we have fencing that is in the middle. So like if you guys have been over there, you know how you have like the depot and the depot is on like an angle almost. So then the parking lot is on an angle. There is a left side of parking that goes a little bit further over, but we're so disjointed in that like concert essentially. So we'd have people in kind of weird areas where people aren't getting like the best view. And we have those.
I feel
the
like you
front-
have to use that whole space for the concert and have to move.
Yeah, and
the-
it's not
the
really, yeah,
rides.
and it's
I mean,
not,
If
I
you
just-
really want to be safe, then you put it in the corner over here and make sure that everybody's as far away from the train as possible.
Yeah.
I walk there every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have to be the furthest from the train as you could get.
Yeah.
Like an absolute furthest,
Yeah.
that back corner.
Yeah.
Across from the shortstop.
Yeah.
And then you'd have all the people around there, just to
So-
be the safe.
Yeah.
If we are able to utilize a portion of that road / parking places right there, then they could possibly butt it up to the train tracks, the back of the stage to the train tracks. You kind of want to stay away from the ride. You want the music to project
Yeah.
in a way that you can hear it. So I can reach out to our amusement, the owner of the company, and see what his plan is for the amount of space that he's going to need in that open lot. I think that will tell us if we have any space to utilize with that area right now.
Well, also the concern is the schedule. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't want us to be spending $30,000, you guys, on a performer and have a train come through. Like we are spending a lot of money on this stuff. I think that I think we really need to think of another option, so that way we can talk about this with comparison. But I think that if we get Hunter Hayes, I can already see, guys, I was looking him up last night and watching these videos. He has a new song that's getting ready to release. That's giving him 10 months of new music that's getting ready to come out. So if we were to book somebody like that has the backing, I mean, our second, right? So we were going through this list, Brian Kelly. He was the other half of Florida Georgia Line. Like that brings a huge name as well. Like and this is great that we can afford these people, but safely fitting these people is definitely a concern. So if we were to put it someplace else, if we're talking, I don't know, I mean, I've been looking at some of the venues that Hunter Hayes was performing at, and there was 15,000 on the small side. So if we start, yes, sir.
So like, I guess, when you talk about Hunter Hayes or like Ford Georgia Line or something like that, I mean, these people sell out arenas for 30 to 40,000 people, right? So if the town markets this and they put the half of Florida Georgia Line on a billboard or something, and people see that, they're gonna say Raleigh. So you have an opportunity.
And it's free. It's a free concert.
30,000 people on top of the people that are already here from Johnston County, right? So I don't necessarily know
There's not a
anywhere
place.
that you can put 30,000 people that come at one time.
Now, there is an idea for some of our local towns, when they bring in, some larger named groups to sell, premier seating or a prime location type area, to sell tickets for that. So, you know, in thinking about the cost, and thinking about, you know, I don't wanna say crowd control, but a little bit of a
Yeah.
area that's specified, that could be an option as well. I know Vincent has their Singing Grove, area, so that gives them a stage. It is a pretty open location, however, they do have the trees and stuff
Yeah.
that they have to work with there. And they had Little Texas there last, I believe, Mule Days last year, so, and that's a pretty well-known group. I believe they were still fighting with some weather
Yeah.
just before that concert, but, just to kind of put in perspective, the sizing, Cape Fear Vineyard and Winery, they have a significant size area, but it's still, you know, enclosed. They had a huge stage, they brought in Aaron Tippin, Sammy Kershaw, and another artist, and it was packed, but, you know, people, it was much smaller than that empty lot down there at the train station. So I do think you can fit a good amount of people in a smaller area when it comes to this, and people can still hear from a little ways away, so it's not like they all have to be in the same area.
Last year you used that, for the little band, and what's that, park? So where would the people park?
Well, this year we're hoping to have a shuttle service. We have reached out to JCATS, but they are not able to help us based on their regulations for the type of, company that they service. But we're working on a shuttle service to hopefully market, parking at other areas to bring them in. Now that we have the food hall and Eastfield, there's a way that we can, you know, do a shuttle around if the train show. I'm waiting to find out if the train group is gonna be able to extend into
Yep.
Harrison. So that would open a shuttle to Harrison, to downtown, to Depot, and other places that we can market some parking.
The Wake Forest. Every month. And it's on the street, but it goes for like 6 or 7 blocks. straight
That was my
down the
next
street.
thing, is that the only other thing would be downtown. Yeah, because we have blocks to be able to go down.
All the way down, I don't know I don't know y'all's name. You know, if you go all the way down the street,
Yep.
then you've got 3 blocks.
Yeah.
People could stack up.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
you can get your 30 out.
Because you're not stopping the trains, and I can tell you exactly what time of day they go
Yeah,
by and how many times a day, and it's,
I think it was
Quite
cool,
often.
and I think it's cool in theory, but I think with the amount of money and the amount of everything that's going into this, I think that could be tons of different attractions at the depot, but I'm not sure that our huge money that we're spending is the best places at the depot. I'm being honest. That's my opinion.
What if I speak to town management as far as some infrastructure related, well, not infrastructure, but, our power access, different locations for, you know, they bring in their campers, that's one of the requirements, so we're having to think about that logistically too. But what if I speak to them and see if there's an option to extend the amusement area down into Railroad, and then keeping that open lot for some of the entertainment, or the main stage. My fear that if we take the main stage all the way down here and have the amusement rides down here, we've done a big disconnect for 2 of the main draws when it comes to your families coming in, together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like my thought on the flip side of that is right now, but after reviewing this, and I've been going over this in depth every day, I've been going over this, and I kind of feel like we're a little load heavy, to be honest, on the depot side. This is just my point of view. We have so much going on the depot, and we don't have much going on the other side on certain days. So as we go down towards, like, as we get into Sunday we have the train show. We have well, I guess if we're just doing this for Saturday, would we only be moving the main stage for Saturday for this huge event?
I'm gonna say that we probably should plan for the main stage to, when it goes up, to be where it's gonna be, just because of having to break it down and move it. So I don't know that we can move it for one day specifically. I can ask.
So if we were to flip flop and we put main stage on the other side, and then we put community stage over here, where it's a lot smaller, it has a smaller draw by nature, there's a lot less people that come, but we still have our amusement rides, which are a huge draw. So now, if we have our both huge draws in one area, there's a lot of people that are on that one side. Like, I feel like we're just a little load heavy over at the depot compared to other sides of town, in my opinion. I mean, how do you guys feel?
Jeffrey?
Do you think our large stage is big enough for a band?
Well, I know a lot of them perform on smaller stages when they go to festivals. I mean, even the Burgal, the Blueberry Festival, I mean, theirs was comparable.
At the third stage, somewhere, you had to get for the biggest event, keep your own, so. For all the other
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, and for the great big, I would have to agree with you that it needs to be in a spot where you can fit
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but, but I like the idea of thinking of it.
Play.
So that's another concern. If we were discussing heat, you know, I was only able to break away for one small portion of last year Railroad Day on Saturday. We walked down to the end, and all that money that we were spending on the performers, everybody was lining the streets in the shade. Like, there was nobody in the center. We were playing to nobody
Yeah.
because it was so hot. So that's another concern. We were looking at Hunter Hayes last night. Hunter Hayes is playing at festivals like ours, like this type of festival, and he doesn't start, to be frank, until 8 o'clock at night. It's the summertime. It's hot as heck. So like which I know opens up another thing for us, because now we would have to push back. But if we're spending $35,000 on a performer, it's not going to be in the middle of the day on a Saturday, guys, because we're not going to get the return on the people that are going to be there, and it's not safe, to be honest, either.
Yeah, definitely an evening for a
Yeah.
large, bigger name
Yeah.
performer, to keep that, but, we can look at the stage locations.
Yeah.
I think our plan, so that we can get some initial marketing out, the theme days, if that's something that we're looking at, if the committee likes the overall planning for this, for the Monday through Sunday, that sort of thing, I think that's something that we would need to go on and get posted, so we can start boosting and start getting that out.
Yeah, and we can
The
figure out this
location,
locations
I do
after.
think that that's something that we need to discuss, especially if
Yeah.
we're looking at a big name. So we can discuss that, and the layout. So I'm gonna say that the layout is probably gonna be the last,
Yeah.
one of the last things that's approved, early
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But, if that's something that's okay with you guys, and we don't even have to approve necessarily the specific days right now. I do think it's important to go on and get an initial 50th anniversary, Selma Railroad Day, 7 days.
Our overview.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to get our
To,
overview.
to get that
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
And then I think as our subcommittees, if you want to add the layout.
Yeah.
To a subcommittee, or specify a couple folks that can meet with some of our town, management about the subcommittee or about the layout, that might be a good idea.
Probably be Cheryl and I, because we're under amusement, kid zones, and entertainment.
Yeah, my big fear with the whole week after we digested it,
Yep.
after our last meeting was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why I came up with the parade, because I'm concerned that I don't want to start the week with a flop.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. And so that's why I really was hoping to think about doing these parades, so we can guarantee, I'm telling you, my kids were in the marching band. Let me tell you, I went to so many in Clayton, and we were in Clayton. But I mean, it brings people. And so I want the committee to consider my thoughts on that, because I just want to start it out, and I want
Even if
I
we
want it
did
to
the
be
parades
big.
downtown, not necessarily all the way over, even if we did them downtown in a large loop where everybody is, especially on Mingle and Main.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's downtown anyway, so if we did that just in our downtown area, I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
think these
that's-
are realistic things. I think on a smaller scale, especially because we don't have anything that goes to the depot until Wednesday.
Then I'll send out an email to everybody, or should I just send it to you?
We'll start it.
'Cause I'll
myself
start
and
it,
Nikki, and then we'll-
just to give you the ideas and the routes that I had,
Yeah.
and then we could do the least impact on Anderson, which is important, since we don't want the DOT to have to be involved. But does the DOT have to be involved if we're marching on the sidewalk?
I will ask these questions. If you'll
Because
send me-
I'll get my little safety thing out, and I'll let them just go right behind.
If you'll send me your plan,
Okay.
because I will need to involve the police with any crossing of
Okay.
Anderson, just because of safety reasons.
Okay.
And then, in thinking about the downtown entertainment for Monday, I know we talked about some of the local band, you know, just some small portions. It doesn't have to be the whole band. It can just be some musical instruments that are playing throughout town.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good thing. And I know, I think you had reached out to Brian Johnson with Triplets. Philip Stone with Princeton, he's a big participant in our Railroad Days every year. So
Awesome. Thank you.
He's definitely somebody to contact. And then Selma Middle School also with their band, Stephen Baker, the principal there, can give us the exact contact for that. I think I have it, but
Oh, and we should have the drummers. They just can't be as loud as they were, but they're local, and that's local talent. All right.
and we are thinking that our staging area in front of the town hall can be utilized for some of our dance performers. I think that is more ideal than putting them on the community stage. Certain dancers have different types of shoes, and it's more ideal for them not to be on the stage. So we'll have to consider that too when we look at the local performances and the scheduling of that location. But if you'd like to have these conversations regarding the stage layout, we can definitely have that with some additional town staff to see what
Yeah.
logistically we can do, and possibly go on and I can get the Chris, the guy with the amusement, on the phone and see what his ideas look like as well for layout.
Can he send you just a schematic, a drawing? Does he have a?
He's already been and visited the
Okay.
area, so he's familiar with what it looks like and sizing. So he's working on our contract and everything right now. And so I'll reach out and ask him about some options for layout and the size space he needs.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna pause from that. We're gonna go back to our timeline, review our timeline, because we do have some things that we need to approve today before the end of this meeting. All right, so timeline. So we're gonna, January, we need to, are we going for end of January on this?
By the end of January.
Okay. Approval of the initial marketing items, assignment of the subcommittees, approval of the sponsorship levels, begin raising funds, confirm the amusement dates and fees. The subcommittees meet to prepare meeting materials for February meeting, begin Facebook posts and boosting events, and reach out to event influencers, state magazine, etc. February timeline, release vendor, food truck parade, third-party nonprofit registration forms. I'm gonna pass these out now. Okay, the form.
Oh, that is actually.
Oh,
a
it's our sponsorship
agreement.
one, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the forms, that will be subcommittee discussed, and the forms can come back in February to be final.
Okay,
approved by the
perfect,
committee.
awesome. They approve main stage entertainment, release information for contests and tournaments, develop restroom plan and request quotes, reach out to school bands, art teachers, art council, scouts, contact all previous Railroad Day queens, confirm fireworks plans with the fire department and request quote, request float options for past queens, reach out to surrounding Selma businesses for setup and participation, and reach out for sound quotes. March timeline, confirm train club participation, sizing and locations, coordinate kid zone activities, book trackless train, confirm restroom vendor, announce entertainment lineup, nominate the grand marshal, open registration for pickleball tournament, request local performance interest, confirm bike ride, and confirm sound vendor. So that's our timeline for the next 3 months.
And I would not say that you need to approve the actual timeline.
Yeah.
I think this is something that will be an evolving
Yeah.
list. But I do think that your overall plan for the Railroad Days, which I believe I've printed everybody that you've got on, okay, printed another set. I do think that to go to council with a possible requested number for budget would be something that the committee would need to go on and recommend or approve. I would just say approve, and then that way town management can review the overall plan and the budget amount.
Okay, so we're gonna approve our plan today.
I would just say approve the overall plan.
Yep.
To be discussed with town staff for logistics.
Okay, and are we gonna do budget separate?
I would do it all together, I think, an overall Railroad Days plan with a suggested budget amount.
Okay, all right, are we okay to go into this now?
Because I don't think we're not gonna do it as a recommendation, this is just a committee approval, so that the committee has reviewed all of this and they're good with the overall plan. Is that this is actually gonna go directly to council. I think that town management and town staff would be the next ones to review this. And if it needs to go to town council at that point, then they can let us know. But because the budget itself would need to go to town council.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That's
So the overall approval of our Railroad Days plan, which is really everything, guys, that we've been discussing. So we have this right here, our daily lineup, our timelines, marketing, which we've already started to discuss. That's what we're overall approving. We're not locking anything in. We just need to send this over to them that we're on the right path. Is that what we're going for?
Track.
Yeah.
We're on
yeah,
the right
showing
track.
progress, exactly.
I have one question.
Yes.
Sorry, I think I'm funny.
So the two suggestions that I suggested today, would that be added? Like, see if we can get the queen.
I think we're gonna stick with the general overview.
Yeah.
And that would include Worship Wednesday, that would include the wine walk, like the general overview, the subcommittees can dive into the
Yeah.
details.
They want to know that that this isn't going to come to August and they're like, oh, you have nothing done.
Right.
So that we're in place and we have our systems and procedures in place to make sure that we're not going to side the fire.
And they're wanting to know an overall amount that
Yes.
the committee is.
So our
going to
budget,
release.
I believe we're still on for 2, correct? Is that we're going to ask for 200,000 for this Railroad Days. If you guys remember, we went over our budget last time when we were here. It was this one that has the coordinating colors on it, stuff like that. Our total on this, now mind you, these numbers have changed. They've changed as we get quotes in and different things like that. We were at 170. But I think, and we've discussed, to be smart with this and to make sure that we have enough money to move around, we need to request 2. That gives us an area of play, we'll say. And I think that's a good number too.
So we were at 170 for 3-day celebration, and we're only gonna ask 30 more thousand for.
No, we were at 170 for our preliminary.
Oh, for the 170.
Yes,
I
yep,
got you.
yep,
Just wanna
yep.
make sure we're not
Yeah.
cutting ourselves.
But we are moving money around because we are, like we talked about, we're not gonna have main stage entertainment during hot days. So, we are able to move some money around, but moving that as well means that if we're cutting out some entertainment, like we were talking about when it's super hot, we can take those funds and put it into a bigger name in general. So we are going to commit, can I please have an approval for our overall Railroad Days plan and our requested budgeted amount for 200,000 to council?
I'll make that motion for our overall plan approval and the suggested budget amount for council. I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Not me.
Not me, I'm raising.
Okay, somebody's, loud vibrate. All right. Do we need the approval for an initial marketing concepts?
Can you pull up? So I'll go through the
Yeah.
daily ones, or the daily images, that I've kind of put together. Just want your feedback.
Yeah.
And
You guys, you can turn around for people
Oh,
online.
yeah.
I was like,
I'm so thankful. Thank you for that.
So basically, just an overview of the full 7-day event, utilizing some of our past pictures, our older pictures. Again, this is all can be changed, anything that you see in there, but I did dive in on the next, can we just go through and look at, do you mind? So I did dive in to, sorry, this is probably gonna be a pain. Our printer has stopped with the blue ink, so I couldn't print it all out. So this would be your 7-day breakdown on one image. And it's just a quick little 1 sentence, for each day. Can you go into?
I had some comments on some of the, just to make it a little simpler, just say Shaggin Sunday, Selma Saturday, Main Street Monday.
Okay.
I
So
like
this-
that image. That is so crisp and clear.
So that would be,
cute.
your Monday.
Love that.
That's a good etch on that too. You're going so fast. I don't have time to appreciate the images.
And I can send
Are
all
we
these.
approving this or are we just looking at
Right.
it?
Well, I think we approve maybe an initial content for the release. And then if there's some suggestions on the image itself, whatever. This is not a poster that's gonna be printed. This is, these are more images that are gonna be posted on Facebook just to announce the event.
Okay.
Can you go to, there's one that's got multiple logos. I want you guys to see this one first. So this takes our current Selma Railroad Days logo that the Visitors Bureau put together and adds the 50th, to it. The one that I used on all of them, just because I wanted to throw one up there, was the bottom left. But I wanted your input on how, and if you don't like any of these, we can.
That one, I think you can't really see the 50th on that one
Mhm.
because of the gold.
Mhm.
Like, it's just not super bright.
I like the second top and the last bottom.
Me too.
I like the last one. The gold banner makes it stand out.
Is there any way to not have that, those letters, outlined in white to make it more, to make it brighter? Because those are blue letters with a white outline, correct?
They are. Mhm.
See, guys, if we could change those to just a dark blue,
Oh.
see, and then it would just pop more because it's got that white on it.
I think it popped. Actually, I think I tried it the other way. But I might be able to change it over here if you want to see it. But if you guys like one specifically, I can,
I mean, the banner's cool. I think the banner is.
and I'll be happy to
If we
send
do that.
this,
I think-
idea to the Visitors Bureau and see if they can create something based on what we're looking at here. The only thing is if we wait too much longer, it's gonna push us back in releasing some of our, stuff. So
Yeah.
Let's just make a decision. Everybody tell me what you want.
Christina, do you want to, or you guys can look at this if you want to?
I'm sorry?
I just changed that bottom. Sorry. We'll see if we can do this in real time.
No pressure.
Never.
Is this Canva?
That's what I'm using for this.
I love these. I'm a graphic design artist.
That's what we all thought when we were, anybody gets on Canva, now they're graphic artists.
It used to be PowerPoint.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Okay.
remember that?
Oh, you're really bringing it back.
And that was just taking off the outline.
Yeah.
Of that last one and doing a slight shadow behind it, so it looks a little bit 3D.
Oh, yeah, look at the difference. I think, yeah,
I'll vote for that.
I think that looks really great.
Mhm.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Done.
awesome. That was easy.
I like those easy ones. Be done with it. We're
Yeah,
here.
option five. May I have a motion to approve, what are we calling this image?
I would just say.
General Railroad Day
Logo.
image?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Or a
50th
logo, event
anniversary
logo or-
of General
First.
logo.
Can I have a second, please?
I second. the
Thank you,
motion.
Rosa. Awesome, that was easy.
So with that being said, I can go in and change the others. Do we, can you go back to the first one with the old train station on it? I know this is that one, sorry. So this can be an initial announcement for the 50th. If you don't, think that this is, and what I can do is replace that 50th anniversary banner with
Yes,
the gold one.
yes.
On both, yeah.
In
Yeah.
that. So if you guys want to,
Can you
approve
bring
this.
it up? I want to see from the depot to downtown. I wanna
It's
see
such a
that.
great image.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Like,
wanted. I wanted your
it's so
input on
good.
that.
I love
No, it is so good.
It's really good.
It is so, so
I
good.
love it.
Did you do that?
The only thing I would add is
Of course you
parade a day.
Like that too. That's
Let's
catchy.
get
Yeah.
the logistics decided on. for that.
Okay.
Parade a
I'll
day.
go with that.
And so this can, like I said, this, and I don't know that we necessarily need to spend a ton of time like looking at all the specific images. I think once the content for each day is confirmed and approved,
Standard.
then we just take, so if you
Yeah.
like this image with the replacement of the gold banner like we just did, then this will at least allow us to get it out and get it posted.
Are you gonna change the gold banner for both?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
The same gold on the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Consistency.
And if this is, like I said, if you wanna go in a completely different direction, we can ask the district
I don't
bureau
think
and
so.
see what
I don't-
their suggestions are.
Keep
No, I
it
love
simple.
this. I love it. And I think you just have the standard, like you say, once every, logistically, we know what's going on.
So we will hold off releasing the weekly, the
Yep.
daily events until the February meeting.
Yep.
Until we can confirm the, logistics and approvals
Mm-hmm.
on our end, for each day. And then we'll create an event post for each one, and we'll start boosting each of those, to get the word out all for the next two.
That sounds good.
What the plan is to go in and post this on Friday.
Okay.
To get the first initial 50th announcement, out to the public.
Awesome.
Make sure everybody here shares.
Yep.
Facebook.
Yep. We're good?
Yes, I think that's good.
All right, let's move into sponsorship levels.
Oh my God, I thought we were done.
Psych.
So I'll give a little bit of background on sponsorship.
Yep.
The levels have, decreased from last year in the number of levels. This has been a decision from the town side.
Yep.
To take Parks and Rec, for smaller levels to go directly towards athletics, and the Parks and Rec program. So our levels are gonna start with the annual event levels. And I know that, you know, can count some of our businesses out that would have normally done some of the smaller ones. We still want to, encourage them to participate in the festival itself. We can talk about ways that they can do that, going forward. But we also want to encourage them, if they still want to support Selma in some way, that we can put them in touch with our Parks and Rec department, for those types of support and sponsorships. So if you'll notice, it starts with a 2,500, a 5,000, and a 10,000. I want your feedback on this, the way this looks, and you have to, it's a little bit of a different perspective, because this is not just Railroad Days, but the main reason we have the sponsorships each year, the biggest sponsorship area is for Railroad Days. But to do an annual event sponsor, that actually puts them, with a lot more benefits for multiple events. And the way I was looking at that was, the All-American Festival, your Railroad Days, the Selma Christmas Celebration, they can have opportunities, within the Soul Food Festival, the Founder's Day program, website, all that good stuff. So, that is all something that can be a benefit of the annual sponsor. Anybody have any issues or anything with the actual levels and how we're doing that?
Which one would be the annual, 25 or 5,000?
Any of them, all three of these would be considered annual. So the different levels, it's 2,500, 5,000, and 10,000. There are certain numbers available, and the reason that there are certain numbers available is because we can't have more, this is gonna be a new thing, but when you think about a presenting sponsor, it's kind of hard to have multiple.
A ton of them,
presenting
yeah,
sponsors.
yeah.
We can either have one presenting sponsor per large event, or we can have three that just are presenting annual sponsors. So that's another thought as to kind of what I wanted to get your input on. But we would have to limit the conductor sponsors, because if that's gonna be, sponsoring one event segment, that would be, All-American Stage, All-American Festival Stage, or the Christmas Celebration Stage, Railroad Days Stage, main stage. So there are some different levels that
Yeah.
can go into that. And really, you can dive in really deep with these details, so it's up to you. I just kind of wanted your input from an annual sponsor. I know this is more than Railroad Days, but we want to make sure that it's a benefit for everybody that takes on this suggestion. So we can either take all of this and put it towards Railroad Day sponsorships, and then they get the added benefit of their logos and everything being on all the other events that we can put them on, or we contour it to annual events completely, and we use those festival segments and stuff. That's gonna take a little bit more strategic planning, and when you think about when a sponsor pays $10,000, when you have three, how do you decide who gets what? Is it first come, first serve, and they get the option? Because if that's the case, then we need to have that checklist that says, okay, this is available, that kind of thing. Or do we just put these around the Railroad Days festival itself, the 50th Railroad Days Festival. But if you sign on as a 2,500, 5,000, or 10,000, you get the added benefits of all the events.
I think all the events, as, you know, this is a substantial amount of money for anybody. So if, like, bang for your buck, I'd rather be on all these things than just on,
I
Well, you
agree.
get, if you do it based on just Railroad Days sponsorships, or Railroad Days benefits listed by, if you look at the bottom where it says other benefits, it would still put you on All-American Festival,
Yep.
advertising. It's just basically how you break down the portions. But I think you'll have to just, if you do just based on Railroad Days, you're gonna have to discuss how do you do the segments if you have 10, because we can only have one amusement section, we can only have one food truck rodeo, so
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into thinking
Yeah, I
about
don't
your benefits.
So just for my, the three major town events are Railroad Days, All-American, and the Christmas Parade?
When you think, yes,
Okay, I just want to make sure that I understood what
your
you were
major, well, we say major, like festival type celebration,
where you print,
those draw the
where you
most
will
amount.
print.
the most marketing, yes,
Got
most digital.
Okay.
They would have opportunities for our Soul Food Festival. That's a little bit tricky because when you sign on for, this is a fiscal year transition, so this would be 25, 26, it would start July 1. However, the earlier you sign on and we start marketing for Railroad Days, it's gonna automatically go into the Railroad Days marketing and any of the other marketing that we do.
Yeah.
So the earlier they sign on as an annual event sponsor, the better, the more benefit that they would get. So the Soul Food Festival will have already occurred before this one, so technically it would be next year. That they would participate, they would have the opportunity to participate in. A lot of your sponsors, they want graciously support, but sometimes they don't want or don't have the staffing to set up at all the events, or be there. So they're just glad to support, and we appreciate everybody that does that, but we want to encourage them to support because we want to make sure that they are, you know, getting the benefits. But even when we have had the Centennial last year, this is just another suggestion when it comes to annual sponsor. We were able to put our annual sponsors on the back of the programs for the folks that came to the rail presentation, the Friday night rail presentation. So that's just an added miscellaneous event that we're not going to list on a
Yeah.
you know, piece of paper, but it's
But
something
I think we need like almost like a little press kit, if we're gonna go for these sponsors, to show them, I mean, just little snippets. You could just go say, hey, you're gonna be listed here.
Let
not
us know
just
what
a-
you need.
Yeah,
We've
not
been
just
over
like
this.
a bucket,
This ain't
like a
me.
bullet list, but to go ahead and give them examples of pictures of where, you know, screenshots from Facebook, screenshots from the website to say, hey, this is the value you get in a visual.
Whatever Cheryl needs, we need to get her, because she feels confident in going for
I
that
am
money.
not going for that money. I mean, the suggestion so that you can go for the money.
So I can actually put,
The first question people ask,
Yeah,
It is.
where do I get my look?
yeah.
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
so I can actually work on putting something together for that, if you
I
want
think
to have
something
that.
visual would just
Some
help. I mean, yeah,
visuals.
you,
Yeah.
you see it,
Whatever
you
Cheryl
go,
says.
stop it.
So what I would suggest, I don't think we can keep the conversations from starting now with these sponsors because people are starting their budget planning now.
Yep.
So as on the town side of things, I'd like to go in and get out a letter that thanks our previous sponsors, or current sponsors, because our annual event sponsors are still sponsors, but also thanks our current sponsors that are under the $2,500 level, and let them know that we have some new opportunities coming, and then that way we can make some connections with them. A lot of people in the past have questioned, like, well, how do we connect our folks with that? And that's what that sponsorship agreement form would be used for. I want to make sure on our side that that's okay for us to use, but I just wanted to put it in front of you guys. So if you guys make a connection with, I don't know, Chick-fil-A or somebody like that, and they're like, yes, we'll do the 2,500, but our budget doesn't start until July 1. So I want to, we can go on and get a confirmation that says they're going to be a $2,500 sponsor. They'll pay by the end of July or something. That way,
Yeah.
that gives them time to get into their next year's budget, and work that out. So
That's smart. I love that.
That's a way to have their contact information, and to make the connection between the town and them as well. So I work on the letter to all of our current sponsors and past sponsors, and we'll mention the annual benefit opportunity for this next year, so that they can go in and consider that in with their budget discussions. You want to wait and approve the levels, with the press kit for the February meeting.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you copy us on that letter or just send it to us? I'd love to see exactly, how it's worded so that if we're going for the sponsorships, we're all on the same page kind of thing.
You said copy on the letter.
Or you send a letter out to everybody? I just like to, you can email it to me, just, I want to see what you're saying so that we're all same.
Absolutely.
saying
Yeah,
the same
that'll
thing.
give it like a little scripted,
Yeah.
thing. Yes, absolutely. But I want to get that letter in their hands so that because right now they're doing the same thing that we are. They're having those initial discussions, and for this amount of money, it has to happen. And I will get the press kit, and what I may do is, as I get the press kit ready, if you want me to start sending some of those things, just to get your feedback. Do you guys like the three options for the annual event sponsorship, and Christina, as a business owner, I know Cheryl, you have one, Mr. Albert. Anybody really can.
I mean, I think it's
connect with it.
unfortunate, but I mean, some things are out of our control. So if this decision has already been made, then there's no point, in my opinion, crying over spilled milk.
Oh, if the council's already laid it down, I don't want to have.
Yeah,
discussions
exactly.
about
There's
it,
not
'cause
really.
That's just a waste of our time.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of our small businesses out of it, but I mean, it is what it is kind of
I
conversation.
challenge the committee here to come back in February with 3 of each level that you think we can hit.
Three contacts. Okay.
Like, I'm going to say, I'm going to throw out Eastfield for the grand one. Let's just all just sort of try to do a little brainstorming and see if
if
we
there
can
are
have
folks-
some ideas.
I have a spreadsheet of businesses, past and current sponsors, and folks that we reached out to. In the past, we have used that spreadsheet so that somebody says, hey, I've got somebody I know at Deacon Jones. Let me reach out to them. I'll be happy to reach out to them.
Yeah.
That way we don't double.
Yeah.
And we don't. pound them.
Please, can we do that on a cloud so that it can be dynamic and active so that we
Is
don't have to,
everybody able to access cloud, is there just a,
whatever,
or is
one
there
you
a
use.
preference of like Google Docs or?
Google Docs for me.
Whatever you want.
I'm not I.
Yeah.
I'm an
Whatever you
Android.
want.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to get Cheryl what she needs to be successful.
So what I'll do is I'll go in and note on that list who I'm gonna send an initial letter to.
Okay.
And then that way you'll have that when you see it. Give
Yeah.
Just a couple days. to
When
get
taking
it.
notes.
I'm taking
that.
notes.
I know
It's
who
all
to
right
have.
here, like a steel noodle.
Steel noodle.
All right, so we will plan, I'll get the letter sent over, to you guys, in a couple days, and I will get the sponsor list sent over for you guys to go in and put in who you want to. If you can't get the document or anything to work, feel free to send an email that says, hey, I want to reach out to these people. And then I'll go in and edit that for you, and then I will work on a press kit for, the sponsorship outreach, as well, which I think is a great idea.
Cool. All right, our second to last thing of business. We need to have a discussion about, so if you guys remember our last meeting, we were talking about moving money from projects that we have not completed in this fiscal year to the Google and Facebook ads for the Visitors Bureau. The town came back and said that they want to keep the 2,000 that hasn't been spent yet for Facebook ads for the town. They don't want to reallocate those funds as of right now. So really our biggest project that hasn't gotten started, is not going to hit our deadline, would be our digital kiosk for this year. Doesn't mean that we can't put it on for next year, which starts in July. So really it would be for us to move our money from our digital kiosk over for Donna to use the money for Google and Facebook ads.
And this would actually be doubling back to, I'm sorry, I did not mention
No.
this, doubling back to our marketing materials section for Agenda Services. And minutes. So I did meet with the Visitors Bureau yesterday to explain that we are going to keep the 2,000 in there for the town Facebook. But I will be able to utilize that for any town posts when it comes to Polar Bear Run. Or
Good.
Soul Food
Yeah,
Festival.
that's what, yeah.
Going on and posting the Railroad Days initial post and getting that out there. But she did suggest 300 for the carousel, 300 for the Google ads per month. And she mentioned 3,600 as a total to carry us through June. If that's something that we felt comfortable with. I know that's more than the 2,000. So I wanted to go on and put that in front of you. This would not go before council as a recommendation until the February meeting. So we would have to hold off on getting them that confirmation. But in order for us to have the funds, that we'll have to take it from
Yep.
the tourism-related project,
Yeah.
like the digital kiosk.
Which I think, I mean, realistically, guys, that's not on our
We're not
table
there
right
yet.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
I
not
agree. I
there.
love the
So-
idea, but
Yeah. All right, so can I get a motion to move the money from the digital kiosk over to the Visitors Bureau for the Google and Facebook ads?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
My second.
Perfect. All right, if I'm reading this correctly, I think we just have bylaw discussion. Yes. Okay. Sounds good. So put that on your homework to discuss. I know,
so it's just going from quarterly to once a month? Is that what we're talking about?
We need to read it.
well,
I mean,
sorry?
that's the discussion, right?
yeah, yeah. I know, Byron shared his input last meeting. I think just in general, my standpoint on it is that with everything that we have going on with Railroad Days and all these additional meetings and things like that, is just all of us holding ourselves accountable. I think when we go and we want to do more scheduled meetings, it is to hold everyone accountable to be at these meetings. Now, obviously, things do come up. I understand that. All of us are human. But I think just making sure that we are here as often as we possibly can for these meetings, and when we make these special meetings, we are asking for everyone's input for their schedule. So if we keep on this track of creating these special meetings, I mean, I don't think it's a horrible thing, but is there a way to go from our 4 that we have now to not necessarily every month on, because keep in mind, if you miss a scheduled meeting, it goes against your tardiness or your attendance record. So the more that we commit to having these meetings, obviously there's only a certain number of meetings that you can miss before you would be off tourism. So if we went from 4 and maybe not say 12, but maybe if we met in the middle at 7 or 8 meetings, is that a possible thing as well?
It would be, that would also raise the amount of meetings we're allowed to miss.
Yes,
Oh, it does. So it's
Yeah.
not this, okay.
yeah,
As we,
yeah,
deadlines, so it's just something that's requested.
yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that.
What, special meetings?
Yeah.
Is everybody else okay with that? I mean,
Yeah.
I am, but I just want to make
I
sure.
have a question. So
Yes.
I'm looking at the bylaws now. So basically, the meeting of the tourism did not change.
Yeah.
Right. So what we need to do is just add additional meetings to our regular tourism meetings.
Yes,
That's
I
fine.
like that idea only because you got 4, you can only miss 1, right? I like the idea of adding more regularly. That's just, I mean, we're all just talking about,
it's miss 2, 1, and then the next one,
what?
you're on the, yeah,
Right, and
Yeah.
I'm just, sometimes things come up like
Yeah.
the major one, I had to take my son to the hospital, so I want the committee to think about maybe we need to have more just in case we have to miss some of those quarterly ones.
Well, we need more anyway because we're doing the river
Right,
day.
and now we
so,
can just schedule it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, do we
I mean, how
want to
could
do?
you, my business owners here about your schedule, that's really what, Albert and
Yeah.
yourself. Does it help you to have regularly scheduled meetings, or does special help you?
I mean, this is before my business even opens, so
Okay, so you don't, it doesn't,
it's, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Only when we get a little shaky past 10 o'clock, I might get a little nervous, but other than that, we're okay.
So basically, the question is, we
could
want to.
have, for a medical, situation, that would not,
There are excused absences.
Provide documentation or something to
Okay.
excuse an absence.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I just don't want to,
It's not
put
like
people on the
you're
spot.
sick and you don't go to,
Yeah.
go to the doctor and you're at the doctor's and you're still screwed. No, it's not, it's not.
All right.
All right, so it
My question is basically, we need to today decide.
doesn't have to be today.
It doesn't have to be.
No.
just-
Review.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
As I was talking with Nikki, there is an option to do that.
6.
Keep it a consistent routine basis.
But we
Yeah,
would
'cause I
still
like-
have meetings. We would still have meetings, guys,
Oh,
every
there's
month.
all
It's
points.
just that every other month would go against you if you missed
Yeah.
it.
I like the every other month and then specials. I mean, I think that's not too, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, I think. it
That way,
proves
6
this
times a year,
meeting
you
that-
make sure that you're here, and
Yeah.
then you can be more flexible on
Yes.
the other ones.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so, I mean, do you guys like that?
I like the every
Yeah, it's
other month.
It's a scheduled every other
Okay with
month,
every
and
other-
the
yeah,
other
it's
ones
every other
are,
And then
And then if we
special,
have to have additional meetings, we
In
can't do
between,
that.
yeah.
And would
which
that
we will.
fit with your Thursday, is it like second Thursday, I believe?
Yeah, because I like consistency, I like.
I do too,
I
it's
do.
just for
Yeah.
planning.
For planning.
no, yeah. Yes.
So 9 a.m. second Thursday.
Is it even those or all?
He's going in his Rolodex.
It's going to make, see what
So he's
holidays
trying to
are.
make sure everything
I'd
is.
like to make a recommendation that we bring
Yeah.
That's
Perfect.
perfect, 'cause you gotta look at the holidays.
Perfection.
Yeah, we can look at the calendar on
Yeah,
our end.
see what's going on.
Yeah, and see
Perfection.
how it needs to be worded as far as the,
Cool.
your- your-
All right, we're good? Yeah? Motion to adjourn? Oh, yes. Yep.
I realize this is turned
We
into.
had
a
already.
regular day to bring, tourist committee back on tourist side of it. Just to bring up, you don't know what 20 or 30,000 people look like in March, the big deal battleground, we haven't their reenactment. They haven't done that in like 10 or 20 years. So, I was just bringing it to you guys as tourists, like, how can we reach that crowd or think about reaching that crowd to bring them into town for the day, for their breaks, you know, at night? Because the reenactment will be here in the day, right? So you got 20, 30,000 people that's coming into Johnson County, 701.
where is, what is this?
The Bentonville,
Bentonville Battleground.
Oh, okay.
This year. is
big
very
deal.
Big, the states are behind it, with the Revolutionary War, you know, Bentonville Battleground on in it, they're including it, and, they reached out to the business bureau to include it in, the bigger picture, so the reenactment is back this year again.
big deal.
It's just 20, 30,000 people, we can use something attractive them here, so.
What day did you say that was, Jim?
I think
When
just
did
the
you say
beginning.
that was?
I wanna go. I've been wanting to. Thank you. We can get some of those people in the parade, I can tell you that.
You want them all 20, 30,000.
Yeah. All right. All right, so, and I think, just for clarification, all of the subcommittees that I am on, which I'm,
With
I
everyone.
think I'm on everyone.
Yeah.
So we will send out an email and we'll figure out dates for all of us to meet over the next couple weeks. And it doesn't have to be as formal, it's just regular.
Yeah, we can come to my office, we can
Perfect.
meet somewhere.
Awesome.
We
So
can't
be
meet
on
at the
lookout.
Quantum Toad? I'm just kidding.
After,
Technically, that could go through a text message for organizing
if it's not
that,
yes.
right? It's just two people.
Yep.
Yep, okay,
Just text me.
perfect,
I'm
awesome.
flexible.
Okay, cool, so we're all in the same thing. All right, motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I will second that
Here we go.
emotion.